This is our second
This
threesome.
is a big production. So I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing all the work.
You're skiing.
Just keep it.
I kind of pictured a daisy chain.
I don't know what freaky shit you're into, but those are well past it. Give me a massive clap, please, my friend. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Playing Through, our favourite talk show, the best talk show in the world, because everybody else is a podcast, so we are a talk show.
Yeah. One of one.
Yes, one of one. Today, I've got a very special guest sitting next to me, Dr. Andrew Alekna.
Stop.
And the one and only European champion of the Ryder Cup 2025, winning captain, Jimmy Walters.
He walked in with the flag across the shoulders.
Of course he did. Any chance he gets to put on a show, he's all over it.
It was good. Good being the. I could feel the passion through the telly this morning at 3:40, so I just thought I'd bring this in and. Yeah, this is me, Andrew.
European.
European captain.
You know, this is the first time I met Jimmy. He's got a lot of restless leg syndrome.
You're screening him whilst he's sitting here.
Might be something to do with my back now.
When I met Jimmy today, I first met Rubes. He was more interested in cars, the gym, and kissing my housemate. So
Ended up marrying that housemate.
yeah, should we tell the
Really?
wedding story?
Oh, no, we're done with that. That's all right. No one wants to hear that.
We want it.
I haven't heard that
all right,
story.
so Jimmy,
Yeah.
About probably, I think maybe like 3 days before the wedding, Vanessa rings me up. She goes,
I'm panicking. I actually don't remember this story.
Andrew, you have to fix Ruben's neck or there's not going to be a fucking wedding.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, in those exact words, too. That's Vanessa
I can
language.
imagine. Yeah, I can
So
imagine.
I guess Rubes was stressed out of his mind and tweaked a bit of his neck. And yeah, I think I got a mention from in your speech for that.
Yeah, because you're an all-round good bloke, that's why.
Yeah. So
You must have got it right.
And then 2 kids later, obviously, that wouldn't happen unless I fixed your neck. So
No, because now I've got a bigger pain in the neck. Those 2 kids.
Yeah.
No, I love them. They never watched this.
I'm not taking the blame for that one. Only credit.
Unbelievable. All right, Andrew, firstly, we need to say thank you for jumping on as a major event sponsor. You are the major event sponsor for upcoming Royal Fremantle. That's going to be an awesome round.
Huge.
And then the Gosnells Cup race final. That's
Not
gonna be
every day you get to play at Royal Freo.
especially as a guest. We're pretty fortunate in that sense. We got some pretty good connections.
60 in the field, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Who's gonna
I
win?
think it's sold out.
I don't know. It's going to be hotly contested, that's for sure. I think Drew Daly won the last major. He's the gentleman that I've spoken to you a few times about with the very,
That's who
very
I thought
bad
I was
back.
when I walked in.
Yeah, well, I thought
Just 'cause
I
we're
was-
both bald, mate,
I wasn't
doesn't-
sure if his last name was Peebles, but
Yeah, okay.
Where did you get Peebles from?
Drew Peebles.
Am I supposed to know who that is, or like some sort of correlation
Just
to
say it
something?
really fast.
Is that from the Jetsons or something?
Nah, there's this guy. He goes around to Walmarts and he does prank. He gets them to call.
Oh,
people
Drew
on the-
Peebles.
Drew Peebles.
Oh,
Come on,
wow.
that was
Hey, you
solid.
can say you can. I got you. Yeah.
I'm into dad jokes, man. I don't understand those ones. But no, seriously, thank you so much from myself, Jimmy, and all the members. Because of people like you and the support you give us, we get to do so much, and we get to put on these amazing events for our members. So thank you, man. We really
Well,
appreciate it.
Look, we're excited to be a part of it. We have a mission as a clinic where we want to help our community just be healthier, happier, safer. And the more we can expand that community by talking to various groups of people, whether it's golfers, CrossFitters, mums, corporate health scenarios, all that kind of stuff. It really is part of our vision and our mission, and it's part of our core values of service to help people be healthier.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great to see, and we love it. And we certainly, and the events as well, the pre-round adjustments and all that sort of stuff. Not that we're supposed to be getting adjustments, but I've seen you give a few people some little.
I can't really resist.
No,
if
you
I
can't.
say
I
something,
feel
so-
like people are lining up for that now. It's almost like the questions like leading up to the majors are like, oh, are we gonna will the chiro be there? Will the massage people be there? You know, like we want to get our. And I'm like, oh wow, like people are really buying into sort of what we're doing. So it's pretty special because I don't think anyone else is doing it. So
Well, I've been doing it in the local CrossFit scenario for a decade. So we basically put on like a recovery center and check people, and I have like everything you need from a recovery perspective. We've been doing that for a decade. So I also get flown to the East Coast to run recovery at the major CrossFit events.
Yep.
Before I had kids, before COVID, I would also go to the CrossFit Games, which is pretty full on. Look after
Sydney. Are they in Sydney? Or
No, they're in America. So,
Oh, wow.
there's a couple of years where Reebok was flying me over to look after their sponsored athletes,
Yep.
their sponsored CrossFit athletes.
Yep.
Yeah, so, it's interesting when you start to push the conversation from, pain, which is why 95% of people, or not even 95, 99% of people walk through our door.
Yep.
And you start talking about performance optimization, the one bloke I could never get out of here as a golfer till he moved was Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Muse.
He'd be like, can I come back tomorrow? I'm like, no, mate, just give it a day or so to just sort of settle in, let your body do its thing, let your body heal itself. And then, because Paul's, I don't know if you know, but Paul's wife worked on my front desk.
Estelle, yeah.
Filthy about losing her on the front desk, by the way. Still filthy
She's
about
fantastic,
it.
from what I've heard.
She's amazing. Paul, not so much, but...
Paul's good in his own space.
and I love the guy, but and then I'd walk out reception, and he'd be sitting there with this with that grin that he
little
does.
look. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He'd be like, "Hey, bro, can you adjust me?"
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
wasn't like 100% right on my swing." So you need to sort that out. And
Honestly,
but
that
he
guy,
got the difference between pain and performance optimization.
he is one of those guys that a lot of people are just happy with the 99%.
Yeah,
He's like 99% is going to. I want to fixate on that 1%, and I want that 1% nutted, nailed. I want it to be the best thing that is the part of me that makes my golf amazing.
Yeah.
It's like no one else fixates on that, and he does.
I feel now, myself anyway, I'm not going, and I'm definitely due to come in here, and I do have some questions because I've got arthritis and I want to know.
we can have a fun talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to. Yeah,
Oh, I hope
before we
I've
go
got enough
into
memory
that,
cards for this.
it's for me now, like I'm going to, and we've spoken about this before, but I go and see like Anthony and then other, like doing the saunas and the ice baths, like not because I get myself to a point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sore and I need to fix it. It's more just like maintenance now because I just like feeling good. I just want to feel good all the time. Like I have big days on the mower or gardening or whatever and I'll be like, oh, I'm a bit achy, but it's not to a point where you just go, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. Like it's not like going to the dentist, basically. And then you got to get a root canal. And you're screwed. So for me, that I know that's where I'm at on my journey. So, and it sounds like what you guys are trying to do here.
I think best example I use with people is when do you want to service your car? Do you want to service your car before it breaks down?
Yeah.
Do you want to service your car when the check engine light's on but it hasn't quite broken down yet?
Yep.
Or do you want to, stop it blowing up? But then I've got a patient who is a professional drag racer.
Oh wow.
He's like a legend of the sport. Yeah, it is.
Really?
Well, you have to cut that out, though. I can't tell you who it is. Doctor-patient confidentiality.
Oh, yes, we'll mute that. But no,
yeah, you just have
only
to
the fastest man in the drag car. But yeah, you know who he is.
But he's basically constantly tinkering with his cars, right? Because he's looking at performance optimization, and so I guess that really shows the different degrees of how you do it.
Yeah. There'd be a lot to that as well, being in those cars and like you'd know that from your
the
your
G
driving
forces,
days. Yeah.
everything. Like,
Well, some of the accidents he's had alone.
Yeah, true.
There's
Throw your body out of whack.
Yeah, there's we'll dive into the rabbit hole of different types of traumas that put stress on your body, and you've got your micro traumas, which sitting at a desk all day is a micro trauma.
Yep.
Gradually breaks you down over hours and hours and hours.
Yep.
And then there's macro traumas. Boom, big car
Big ones.
accidents.
Yeah.
Falling off an electric skateboard. I've done that.
well, we've got plenty to talk about. Before we go into all that, I want to get to know a bit more about you as a person. Now, I know you obviously personally, but the people out there watching don't know you. Jimmy doesn't know you from a bar of soap other than meeting you tonight. So you're not originally from WA, are you?
No, I was born in Melbourne, moved up to Sydney when I was about 6 months old, which I think my parents are wild for doing that because I wouldn't want to move with a 6-month-old interstate. And then moved over here just before my 23rd birthday and have been here ever since. So I remember the first time I got a job where I had a half-hour drive, and people were like, over here, and they're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing driving half an hour?" And I was like, "Are you kidding?" Like my previous work was hour on the train. A half-hour drive's fantastic, and now I live 7 minutes from the clinic, and I still think that's too long. So I'm definitely integrated into Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. I'm in Coolbluff workshops in O'Connor. The car doesn't even get warm. By the time you get and it's the worst in winter because you want the heater to kick in, and it's just as you pull up to the car park, the heater kicks in.
Just enough time to do a dad joke.
I've got one for you tonight, don't worry. And it's Cairo related.
Oh, shit.
I got a couple of them.
Good. Oh, we can all do one if you like.
Yeah, we'll throw them out there.
Now, you grew up with Aussie rules and cricket, I believe.
Yeah, they were my I guess my first loves. They're still like love my footy. I get all like fizzed up about it during winter, and then like I'm hanging out for trade season now.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Now
The
it's
grand
over.
final's
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
I'm like,
No,
all
I
right,
feel ya.
let's get the trades. Let's
Yeah.
get Zach Merritt into Hawthorn.
Yep.
Zach Merritt to Hawthorn.
Zach
Is that
Merritt to
happening?
Hawthorn.
Yep.
No, that's
Yep.
definitely happening.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Ruben over here is a Freo,
definitely didn't hear it.
Oh, he knows.
half-ass Freo supporter. Oh yeah, I go for them if they're going well, but if they're not going well,
That's exactly
I hate
right.
Freo.
The only time you catch me in the gear is if they're in the finals.
Like a West Coast
Yeah,
supporter.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
So what made you go for Hawks?
So I only found out the answer, the long answer to that recently. But basically, my dad goes for the Hawks. When he was a kid, his favourite player was named Robert Day in the Sandful, because my dad was in Adelaide. Moved across to the Hawks, and so my dad just adopted the Hawks as a VFL team. Robert Day is Will Day.
Will Day's dad. I was just about to say, there's got to be that grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So there you go. Wild.
There you go. Wild indeed. And what school did you go to in Sydney? Was it Sydney you went to school there?
Yeah, William Clark College, which you would have never heard of.
Fancy.
It sounds fancy.
Is that similar to like a Trinity or Aquinas or Wesley
no,
over here?
it's like a poor man's private school.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah,
it was very cheap per term, and really the major difference was they had slightly better facilities, and they had the power to
Co-ed?
kick
Nice.
somebody out if,
I learned that the hard way.
they had the power to kick somebody out if they were being a drongo, and that was,
Yep.
that was the main thing.
Did you go all boys school?
Yeah, early on in the piece. And
Where?
then I just realised, Trinity.
Oh.
Yep. Went to Trinity. So,
Hit puberty and went, this is unacceptable.
well, I went early, like year 4 to year 7, then did year 8, and I realised I was like, fuck, I don't even know what I'm meant to do with a woman. So I thought I better get out of here and try and figure it out.
I went to
Rubes could have given you some
Yeah.
No, I went
Maybe
to
Bailey Smith can.
I went to City Boxing Champions. So good old CBC Fremantle.
Oh, CBC. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
People, like, it's funny, I'm getting asked more now that, like, my girls are starting, you're starting to look at the point where you got to put them into high schools and stuff, and we're starting to entertain the idea of putting them in co-ed, non-co-ed, whatever. So we're looking at Kennedy at the moment, but I've had parents asking me, because they know that I went to all boys, like, what was it like as a student? And, like, the real answer for me was I was so much more focused because you didn't have the distraction of females, right? But we had John Curtin. We had John Curtin up the road. So all you were looking forward to was 3 p.m. Mum and Dad would be like,
bus.
we'll organise to pick you up. No. I'll get the bus. Don't worry about that. And I'll get the late one.
Yeah,
and so you got all this
yeah.
time walking around Freo, and that's where my interaction with females came from. But
Yeah.
Just
as
that
far as
one glimpse of a girl at 3:15, you're like, oh,
what do I do with it? It was funny though because we were all the same. We're all in the toilets gelling our hair before we got in the bus and like walking
you
out there.
used a lot of
Oh
gel.
fuck yeah! Oh fuck yeah! You know, I used to buy like
Did you have facial hair back then?
not a lot. No, not a lot.
Little moustache.
Hey?
Do you have back hair?
Oh mate, if I didn't shave parts of my body, I'd be able to connect hair from the top of my head to the tip of my toe.
Yeah.
Lucky your wife's a beauty therapist.
Speaking of school, I want you to tell me about this photo and what that means. I'll put this
You
up
know
for
what?
everyone to see.
Actually, that's not a school photo.
What is that?
This is back when I was raised quite religious. So I actually went door
What?
knocking. Yeah.
Mate, okay, so for people that don't know, you're not religious.
Not anymore.
Give me a look at this.
I hope mum and dad don't say that. That I actually went on a Mormon mission door knocking for like 2 years before I left the church.
Oh, I would have set my dog on you.
So, we never had our dogs set on us, but we did get a fair bit of abuse. Honestly, that was 20 years ago. I can't remember what that.
What's the symbol about? Because I was just scanning through
I
your
think
Facebook,
it's about
like,
not stepping on people's toes.
but were you in something? Was it like a seminar? What was it? Or were you telling people?
We used to have to do like training for other missionaries and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
You were the head missionary, weren't you?
no, I wasn't. the head missionaries were in the office. I don't sit still very well. So, yeah, I'm definitely glad I don't have an office job now.
I was trying to figure out what that meant. I was like, don't pee yourself, don't.
No, that's one foot stepping on another's. Don't step on people's toes.
Right?
Yeah.
If that's what you say. All right, let's go
Yeah, you can have that.
Let's go into your professional backstory. Chiropractic, was it something you wanted to do when you were in school? Like, you know, as we all in high school, we're like, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a computer engineer, whatever you wanted to be. Was it something that in high school you were like, I'm going to be a chiropractor?
No, definitely not. I mean, I first saw a chiropractor when I was 13, thanks to cricket. Cricket's got to be the least ergonomic sport. Golf's probably not far behind it. You know, like high speed unilateral or single sided rotation. Not great for this baby.
Yeah.
But so I actually, when I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a vet. And then I did work experience at a vet and watched him put this old lady's blind and deaf dog down and thought, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah, so that's when I knew absolutely not. And then I thought, oh, maybe I want to do law. And as I finished year 12, my brother-in-law had a law degree, and he said, do you like reading? I said, no. He said, don't do law then, because I read like 600 pages a day. I was like, okay. So I just worked, and then I started to develop like, I guess, an understanding of that I wanted to help people. And through various things growing up, I started to realise, people were like, oh, maybe you should be a doctor. And I started to realise, and, you know, we can dive into this, I didn't really like the medical paradigm of, you know, drugs, surgery.
Yep.
But I'd also, you know, obviously been to a chiropractor since I was 13. So I started to look into the philosophy and the I guess, the backing behind that. And that's when I really started to consider it. Then I actually started dating a girl who was studying chiropractic over here, and that's what made me move over. I had acceptances at the other chiropractic school, so that's why I moved over here. And then...
What's the study? Like, what's the study involved? Like, is it a university thing, or is it like...
It's a 5-year university degree.
Yeah, okay.
Double degree, so you get one degree that you can't do anything with at the 3-year mark, and then you've got another 2 years after that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, like... you know, uni students, you see them and they're like, they've got 10 hours of class or something like that. And then they do, you know, an exam period where they have 2 or 3 exams. It's nothing like that. It's like 30 hours contact. The expectation from the lecturers when I was at uni was for every hour of class, you would do 2 hours of study to, nut it out.
To the hour. Yep.
And then every exam period, every exam was must pass. So like even if you'd already accumulated above 50% pass mark in the total unit at university, if you fail that final exam, you fail the unit.
Wow. Okay.
So high pressure. I think the worst exam period we ever had, I think we had 12 exams in the space of 14 days that were all must pass.
Yep.
It wasn't.
That's insane.
It wasn't heaps of fun.
But
we're here.
you must love it though, because
I do.
if you're doing that much study, it must be something. It's like I wasn't massive. Like I do nothing compared to this, but I do lawn mowing and gardening, and I had to go to Jim's. I started with Jim's mowing. I had to go to Melbourne for a seminar, and I was like, how am I going to sit in a seminar for 7 days in a desk, like in a uni thing, like with Jim standing down the front telling us about it.
Jim?
Jim.
He's not the Jim, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry
Jim,
to
the actual
burst
Jim.
your bubble.
And spoiler, his name's actually David. His middle
marketing
name
is way better than his middle name.
They just use him. They just use Jimmy's likeness. They saw him somewhere.
Yeah. No, but I went there, and as he was talking about stuff, I was like, oh, I want to learn. So you know what I mean. So I just clicked, and I was there, and I was soaking it in and stuff. So it must have been something similar at uni. It was just clicking, and you were like, well, I want to learn about this. And
I think you grow in your passion as well.
100%.
And you can either love what you do or do what you love, right? So you either find a career that you really like, I get to look forward to coming into work. I'm mission driven. There's a reason why I want to help people be healthier.
Yep.
Or you can say, well, like my driving force is my family, and so I go to work, because I
To
want
provide for them.
provide for
Yeah.
my family,
Yeah.
So that's I guess the difference. I get to do both,
Yeah.
which is pretty sick.
That's awesome.
So you also studied clinical, what is it? Clinical biotherapy, isn't it?
Biochemistry.
Biochemistry.
So
Sorry.
biochemistry is part of the chiropractic degree. Most people don't realise that. We actually have more contact hours in radiology than anyone except a radiologist whose whole job it is to analyse X-rays. We also do pharmacology, immunology, physiology. I remember sitting there in first year going, why am I learning about how a desert mouse keeps itself cool in the heat? Because we had so many subjects that were blended with the vets. So we do biochemistry, and then I hated it at uni because they didn't join the dots between this is the chemical reactions that occur in your body and this is what goes wrong and this is how you can help somebody with it. They just went, that's the chemical reactions, and then this is like the syndromes over here, don't worry about them, but that's the chemical reactions, blah, blah, blah. So I actually did additional study. After I left university, I did applied kinesiology, which is a chiropractic technique that we use to... Kinesiology just means muscle test, right? So we use muscle tests to not diagnose, but really nut out what we want to do and what we can help somebody with. And there's a chemical element to that where one of the there's three stresses in life, right? Physical, which we talked about, you got micro, macro traumas, physical stress, right? Swinging a golf club, that'd be an example of a physical stress.
Yep.
Then you've got emotional stress. I don't like to touch that one. It's just not my specialty. It's not my vibe. I don't like it. I acknowledge that it's there. Yep, cool. And then the last one is chemical stress, which if you think about chemical stress, what do you mean? You have a big night on the cans, that's chemical stress. Alcohol's a neurotoxin. I don't know. Your dog licks you on your face and you get a parasite, that's a chemical stress.
Okay.
You spray glyphosate, that's a chemical
Yep.
stress. Do you want to dive in? Do you use glyphosate?
Yes.
Might want to stop doing that.
Okay. I wear a mask.
No.
Rabbit hole coming.
Okay, all right.
Here we go.
So glyphosate is a great chemical stress. When I say great, I mean it's not great. The patent holder for that has paid out, I think, over $400 million in lawsuits and compensation in the US.
Yep.
In particular, proven to cause non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that they speculate that it's involved with.
Yep.
But in particular, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, that one they have proved in court, and to
Yep.
the point where they paid out $400 million
Yeah,
US
okay.
on that. So,
Would I have to be spraying it every day or?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where you go, even if it hurts a little bit, stress is cumulative, right? So if it
Yeah.
builds up in the body gradually over time,
Okay.
then you're still going to have the same.
Is there
Same
anything
problems.
to counteract it?
Look, you can use chemical binders. Like spirulina is a really popular one. You know when spirulina became big and everyone was doing the green smoothies and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But
It's
nobody
matcha now.
understood why, right? So
Matcha.
you've got these things called binders, and you basically you take them, and anything in particular ranging in your body that could cause problems, the binders help grab onto it and transport it out of your digestive tract.
Okay, so kind of like a shield, sort of.
Not so much like a shield, but
like-
more like a paper towel, right? You imagine
okay,
there's a
so-
spill
yeah,
and we soak it
soak
up
it
and
up.
help it
Okay.
leave the body. So
Just make a note.
yeah, spirulina, write that one down. Spirulina's helpful for particular chemical toxicities, and chlorella is a really favourite one for heavy metals. Same with zeolite, charcoal. These are all like standard binders.
There's another one, marijuana.
No, that's not a binder. That's
No.
just a good time.
Sorry, Jimmy, I tried.
This is a good relaxing.
Got a bit of oil, a little bit of oil. Yeah, no. Tash knows that too. Yep.
But
People sitting out there, who calls it marijuana?
Yeah. What chemical is that? No.
It comes from the earth. You know, Cat Williams, what's he say? If you just the comedian Cat Williams.
Yeah.
If you just so happen to set it on fire, it has some effects, right?
Very true. Very true.
Where were we going with this? Oh yeah. So the main thing it does in your body is it deposes an amino acid name called glycine. And glycine's really important for liver detoxification. But that's the main one, right? So when you've got high glyphosate, you struggle to get in glycine. So, you really want to be supplementing if you're around glyphosate a lot. Glycine.
I wouldn't say a lot.
Collagen.
But still, collagen. Yep, I do collagen in my porridge.
Collagen, protein, that kind of stuff is your best source of glycine.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I've got a few paper towels in there already.
Yeah.
And spirulina.
But I mean, best to just stay away from it, right?
Sorry, Scotty, you'll be out there spraying from now on.
Yeah,
It
just
won't
get
be
the
me.
apprentice to do it. The younger he is, the more resilient he is, right? Sorry, mate.
Oh my gosh! So, with everything you do, you're big on changing people's lives through chiropractic. Is there a particular case that comes to mind that you remember going, I just changed this person's life forever?
Heaps. It depends on
Any specific that you're like, if that person hadn't have come and seen me, their quality of life would be the worst it's ever.
The biggest one is actually kids, right? So adults will come through the door. It's kind of funny. Adults will come through the door for pain, right? That'll be their primary motivator. But when I see kids, it's for some kind of dysfunction. And I think back to she's I'm still working with her now, but little lady, 2 years old, constipated on Movicol, so like adult grade
Movicol,
laxatives.
yeah.
Pooing
That's
once
heavy.
every 5 days, right? And then I think it took us a few weeks to really get things moving. Started to poo, 10 days straight, and it was like with no Movicol. It was unreal.
Wow.
And that really changed her trajectory because she'd started to develop like a toilet phobia or all that kind of stuff. I don't know, just got to
It's
tell
not good,
helping
yeah.
kids poo.
Tash,
So-
like Tash gets that with IBS and IBD and all that, and her stomach problems and that, and it's like it's fucking shit. Like no pun intended. Well, pun intended.
Well, it's not
but
shit, isn't it?
it's not
That's
shit,
the problem.
Exactly, but it is hectic. So I can only imagine being a 2-year-old and not knowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not being like, why am I not? So yeah, that would have been massive for her.
Yeah.
I think also, I know a couple of weeks ago when we caught up, you told me about a story about a gentleman that had gone to the doctors and they'd sent him for all these scans and everything, right? And he came to see you and you sort of sorted him out. And I know there's a lot of people out there too who at the moment, migraines and all the rest of it, there's no answers for them. They've probably never had chiropractic in their life. How do you, I don't want to say convince, but how do you get a message across to those people through the channels that we got to say, look, you need to come to see me, you need to come to see a chiro, because the doctors don't always have the right answers.
No, they don't. And I think one of the biggest problems with the medical system is that it's kind of set up on this hierarchical sort of concept, right? So, if you want to know what drugs or what surgery to have, don't ask me. I'm specifically trying to stop people having drugs and having surgery. If you want to know what style of chiropractic care you want, don't ask a GP. They don't get any training in it. They actually don't even know really what we do. Their specialty is
To give you drugs and give you surgery.
is drugs and surgery, right? So it's like going to a Ford dealer and saying, well, what Toyota's the best one? Like
Good analogy.
they're not experts in it, and they don't really want you to
Buy it
buy a
anyway.
Toyota,
Yeah.
right? So it's funny, we do, like, for example, social media advertising, and people think like, well, why does a health clinic need to do social media advertising? The reality is, if we look at this, do you know what Coca-Cola spends on advertising a year?
Millions.
Keep going.
Billions.
Billions.
Yeah.
It's $7 to $8 billion a year on
Yeah.
advertising to help people think that you can drink Coca-Cola without consequence. Right? Pfizer spends between $3 and $4 billion a year. That's just one pharmaceutical company. There's 26 or 27 in operation in Australia, who all donate to both political parties, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not go down that road. But
Don't fire me up about that shit right now, eh?
well, I can wind you up, Jimmy. Let's save it for later.
I think I got enough batteries for tonight.
So if I'm not doing my part to put the chiropractic paradigm, the concepts of chiropractic forward, which are that your body's designed to be healthy and it should be healthy, and it's stress that and so it's three stresses: physical, chemical, and emotional stress that stop you from being healthy. I mean, is that such a hard concept to believe? Like, so if I'm not putting that paradigm forward, trying to get that word out there, then we're like perpetually losing ground. And that's why if you go to the Bureau of Statistics and you look up, okay, well, how healthy is Australia, you'll find that 80% of adults have a long-term problem, which is defined as more than 6 months, and 50% of adults have chronic problem, which is defined as 12 months or longer.
Yep.
Right? Well, you probably fall into that category, Jimmy.
Yep.
And here's the scary part is that kids are at 45% on that chronic scale. So not only are the adults getting sicker, but the kids in Australia are getting more and more sick. There's a quote that we often use in our seminars from the study from the CDC that basically said that for the first time ever in the history of man, children born since the year 2000 are not expected to live as long as their parents. Now, that's just someone's opinion based on the data, but it's pretty scary for an epidemiologist to even have that opinion.
Yeah.
Because have you got kids, Jim?
No kids.
Rubes has got kids. I got kids born after the year
fur babies.
2000. You know what really freaked me out is I said that in a seminar, and I said to, I said, who's got kids in the year 2000? And I looked at one of the people in the seminar, and they're an adult. And they were like, I was born after the year 2000. And I was like, holy shit, it's 2025.
Yep. You might, yeah, true. But then as well, it's like, yeah, that's actually pretty scary, hey?
Yeah.
Especially being a parent.
So, yeah, so there's adults walking around now that are not expected to live as long as, you know, their parents.
Yep.
Which is wild.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that's... Did I even answer your question?
No.
Yeah, okay, good.
Can we
Sorry, I
delve,
forgot to turn it off battery and put it on mains power.
can we delve into what have you got on that run list there? I really want to
We've
delve
got plenty.
into
There's
mine,
plenty.
yeah.
Don't worry, we're going to touch on everything. What I want to touch on too, we got a lot of small business owners within TGC as well, and you started this business on your own.
Well, yeah, my wife and I, she's
Well,
definitely
you're one unit, so together.
she's definitely the details of the organisation. Not sitting still well means not having a predisposition for paperwork. So I do work to employ people that are good at paperwork so that I can just focus on what I'm good at. Which is, you know, for the small business owners out there, that's actually probably the biggest tip is if you can employ somebody to do a better job on an aspect of your business than you for less money than you can earn in an hour, then employ them.
It's what I stick to and what I try and do. Every person I try and hire, I give them every opportunity to climb a corporate ladder or climb a ladder. And it doesn't matter what business they're in. But my mantra is I want to teach you, or I want to hire you to be the best version of not just yourself, but of me. I want you to be a better me. Mm-hmm. So take my role and take my role. Like, be me one day and be better than me. I want to learn from you. So it's like trying to find people that will have that can-do attitude, that willingness to want to work and not just take home a paycheck. I know it's hard, but
It is hard. It is very hard to find those people.
I think that's where, you know, we're fortunate in that, you know, like I mentioned, we are mission driven, and the three other chiropractors that work for us in the clinic are all on the same mission. So it's great for us to have a vision of what a healthy society, if we're having the right impact, looks like. And they've bought into that, and they're definitely A players, and I'd categorise an A player. They love to learn, they love to get better. A B player kind of will get better because they have to, or it's encouraged, and a C player will do the right thing when people are looking.
Just tick the box.
You know, I love hiring A players. I'm always like looking for people that are A players, even if I don't have a role for them in the business. I'm like, I'm sure you're gold. I'm sure I can make this work somehow where I can have you, you know, involved.
Yeah. So it's probably safe to say the biggest challenge that you've probably faced is staff.
100%.
Yeah.
If they don't, I'm actually now, I've started as a practice coach, so I help other chiropractors structure their business in a meaningful, successful way. And, in terms of what we always talk about, you've got to have a vision, right? So you've got to know where you want your business to go, what you want to tackle, what you want to accomplish, because you can't hit a target that you can't see, right? So you've got to have that vision. Then once you've got that vision, you have to transform yourself into the right kind of leader that's going to be able to lead people to accomplish that vision.
Yep.
And then from there, you've got to have the right people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And if you can't find the right people, then it doesn't matter what your vision, your leadership capabilities are. There's just some people that unfortunately are just not interested in exceeding and
That's right.
or excelling.
I think it's so important to make sure you have people on your team that share the same vision as you and
Yep.
want to go in the same direction as you. And I think it's really important that when you identify certain people within your organisation that aren't sharing that same vision, you need to get rid of them. As brutal as it sounds, you
Yeah.
need a hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah, and look, unfortunately, someone can be great. They're just not right for the role, and it shouldn't be a personal thing. It's just
Never.
It's just like you're fantastic. You'll probably succeed in a bunch of other things, and I hope you do. But do you fit in this role? Are you the right person? Is it the right time in your life? That's the other thing. Is we've had people that were great until their life changed, and then they weren't, and that's almost more detrimental because you're like, what happened to you? You
Yeah.
were fantastic. So yeah, right person, right role, right time, right way. That's the 4 boxes we tick.
Love that. Love that. And you've called it a hub, not a clinic. Why hub? Was there a meaning behind it? Was there anything behind it?
The hub actually came from kind of by accident. So we started, like I mentioned, we started doing recovery in CrossFit events, and a friend of mine, Brendo, he and I, we just started it by accident. He used to work for a supplement company. He hit me up. He had a stand at a CrossFit comp, and he's like, do you want to be like the sup brand, Body Science?
Yes.
BSC. Do you want to be the Body Science chiropractor for this comp? And I was like, yeah, sick. Like, Richard Branson always said, you say yes to opportunities and you figure out how you're going to do them. And then all of a sudden, we had a bunch of all these other practitioners, massage therapists, physios that were like, "Oh, can we get on board?" And it just kind of steamrolled into this being this big thing, and that's how the Athlete Hub started, right? So I had the Athlete Hub. I was working for somebody else in their clinic, and the Athlete Hub was like my little side gig. And Brendo, my friend, he always talks about being responsible for our logo. He's not. And Brendo, if you're watching this, I remember exactly how it started. I think it was Fiverr or Airtasker. You just got a designer to mock it up. And they gave us a bunch of options. And we both agreed that this one was the one we liked. And and then I was looking, when I was doing more like brand kind of awareness and marketing kind of awareness, they were like, you have to have some kind of connection to your logo. So a hub means like a meeting point, right? So we started using that phrase just unintentionally, but then we really kind of got connected to the point where the concept of a hub where everyone could come together and
It's more
meet there.
inviting.
Yeah, it's
Clinic's
just,
like, you're going to the clinic?
Oh, God, I
what's
feel
wrong with you?
sterile just listening to it. It's like-
Do you know what? When I had our first proper clinic here, we got an interior decorator, and I said to her, you know how, you know what it's like when you go into a GP's clinic? I want the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's a hub. It's a meeting point. It's like it's a place where everyone can come together, right?
Yep.
Now, in terms of that, we also have the Geneva Cross, which is that specific cross, same thing that they use for Red Cross, all that kind of stuff, which is the universe, or like it's the international symbol for like
Health.
healing and health
First
and
aid.
that kind of stuff, right? So it makes sense that that's part of our logo. Then we've got 2 rings, which I took to mean, once I was breaking all of this symbolism down, that chiropractic's actually a done with you, not done for you thing, right? So we like to come alongside our patients and help them on their journey to health, but like I can't do it for you, right? So 2 rings, me and my patients working together, and a ring is a perpetual thing, right?
Yep.
Health is not a finish line thing. You don't cross the finish line and go, yeah, sick, I'm healthy, right? Like
keeps going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't. It's not like abs. It's the same thing. Like
Yeah.
cross the finish line and go, I've got abs. Cool, I can take the foot off the pedal. In 3 weeks, you don't have abs anymore. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah.
So health is a perpetual journey. And, one of I guess, while we're on this subject, people are like, oh, once you go to a chiropractor, you have to keep going to a chiropractor forever. You don't. Just like you don't have to keep eating healthy or keep going to the gym. But, if you want to be healthy and fit, then guess what? You have to keep exercising.
Yep.
If you want good digestion and good energy, all that kind of stuff, then you have to keep eating healthy. If you want a healthy spine, you want a healthy nervous system, then you keep seeing a chiropractor.
You're preaching to the choir here with Jimmy because you're massive on that, hey?
Yeah, huge.
You have to keep going, right?
Yeah.
Like golfers, guys, you're not gonna finally hit 72 on a round and go, sick, I don't have to try anymore.
You're gonna try shoot 71.
I'm an expert now,
Yeah. Just ask Brody.
It's perpetual effort. And life is perpetual effort.
No,
Yeah.
I massively agree with that. That was like when we started my partner or Tash, my fiance,
don't say partner.
my fiance. Yeah. She's had some health struggles the last sort of 3 years. That's really, tested us and tested her, and she's had a fair bit going on with like chronic pain and all that sort of stuff, and we've sort of delved massively into the health side of things in the journey, and that's why I can sort of align with everything that's you're sort of saying. And it's not for me. I was already fairly healthy, but it's made me think about a lot of things. I'm like, well, if you're doing it, I want to do it. And then I started thinking of other things. So we've now got the sauna, the ice bath, go get a massage every 2 weeks, needling, and then all that sort of stuff. And I'm just trying to eat healthy, and you can't. And it's not. People take the mickey sometimes because they're like, oh, you're just trying to do it for golf, and but I'm like, no, it's not. It's for just my life,
right?
It's just a bonus that I feel good for my golf. I just want to wake up in the morning and actually be able to roll out of bed and start the mower and feel good, not be like, oh, fuck, here we go again, another day, another dollar, so.
And I think
I'm looking forward to getting on the table.
I've got these.
You'll be a changed man, I can tell you.
Do you know what often happens is I'll have particularly a dad come in, and we'll look at the form. They'll go, okay, I've got back pain, or I've got sciatic pain, or something like that, and one of the first questions I like to ask people is, what's made you act now, right? Because often, even if it's an acute flare-up, an acute flare-up is always a little aggravation of a chronic condition.
Yep.
Right? Unless there's a, we talked about those macro traumas, unless there's a heavy incident of this occurred.
Like an ACL or car accident.
Yeah, or when I dislocated my shoulder, something like that. I hit the road at 40 k's an hour. That's another story. Those are those macro traumas, right? Unless there's an acute incident of that, any acute flare-up is always a sign of a longer-term problem that's been bubbling under the surface. Right?
So then I'd be a good patient then, or an interesting patient, because I would be coming to you not with, I've got a few niggles, but it's not like they niggle all the time. Does that make sense?
Better to jump on them now before they become a really big problem.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I mean. So it would more be you just evaluating me and checking and being like, oh, how do you feel here? If we maybe slightly adjust this, or how would that work? I guess.
Look, we're I guess to answer that question, we actually try and be extremely objective in our findings here, right? So, going back to what I was saying, the first thing I ask people is, what's made you act now?
Yep.
All right, because underneath that is the motivating factor about why they've decided to come in. So I've got a bloke right now it's pretty scary. He's 27 and he's had sciatic pain for a decade. So you can imagine getting sciatic pain as a teenager.
Yeah.
And I've looked after his wife for a very long time. And we finally got him in. I said, what's made you you had 10 years of sciatic pain. What's the difference now?
Yeah.
Why now? And they've just had a kid. He can't hold his kid for more than 5 minutes.
Isn't that? Yeah,
that's
wild.
That's the motivating factor, right?
Yeah.
And I want to know what drives people and why they want to get healthier, because you have to understand that. You have to have that vision of why they want to get healthier, and they need to have that vision of why they want to get healthier.
Yep.
Otherwise, when things get difficult, humans are programmed to move away from difficulty, right?
Yep.
So if I say, okay, Jimmy, that's cool. I understand where you're at. I want to help you. This is what you're going to need to do to get that.
Yep.
If you don't have that vision, you're going to go, oh, that seems more difficult to resolve it than to have it.
Yeah. Nah, I'm a dive-inner.
Right. So
Is that a word?
So we'll make it one. We'll hyphen it.
Yeah.
So I always want to know what makes people tick, what's driven them to get on the table. Now, our process is to find that out through medical history and look for any indications of what's going on, and really connect with people, because the primary reason why people struggle with practitioners, based on the research, is that they don't feel an empathetic connection with any practitioner.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't feel like your GP cares about you, your chiropractor cares about you, your physio cares about you,
Yep.
you don't want to be there.
Yep.
Right. But I actually really care about my patients, and when one of them's not going well, I'm actually pretty devastated.
Yeah, because you feel it. You almost feel like you're letting them down.
That's my success, their success, right?
Yeah.
And one of our mottos here is like, practice success through patient success, basically, right? Like, we're not interested in churning and burning people and racking up huge sums of cash and getting no results, right? Our primary results are that, our primary goal is that our patients get results and our community gets healthier, all right? There's nothing wrong with having successful business around that.
Yep.
Right. You're not going to find an orthopedic surgeon that's struggling for money.
Yep.
No. So there's nothing wrong with having a successful business model while you're helping people. But if we're not helping people, we're wasting our time.
I think you can feel that though, like when you go somewhere and you can feel this is a cash grab.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can feel, and I've gone into some appointments with Tash, like that are meant to be, like you say, like your doctors and like pain specialists, and fuck man, they've gaslighted the fuck out of her. And I've just sat across and wanted to belt them and been like, why are we even here? Like, you're meant to be helping this girl, so I think like you can feel that from like a practitioner or something that's meant to be taking care of you, and you go, like, for example, I didn't really want to go and see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I can't remember, but I do see one now, and it's the best thing I've ever done.
I just call them baggage handlers.
Yeah.
We've all got baggage.
Yeah, exactly right. But I went in there and I was like, I don't really want to do this, but I need to, try and figure out a few things. And now I've gone in and like connected, and I'm like, I can't wait to go back in every 4 weeks because of that. Like, I feel the connection.
Yeah.
So it's almost
they're just going on what's been going on last 4 weeks.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah, exactly. So
and that's a health journey, right?
Special.
That's a health journey.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Brilliant.
What the fuck were we saying?
No, good. I liked it. No,
Talk about Hawthorne?
No, but this is all stuff that people need to hear and they need to understand. Like, I can tell you right now, so many people are scared of going to a chiropractor, A, because they don't know what to expect, and B, they don't even know what you do.
So, all right. So when people come in, first and foremost, 10% of your nerves in your body are devoted to pain, right? So pain's not a reliable indicator. If you're getting niggles, that's like the check engine light coming on. There's already a problem, right? If you've got some kind of symptom in your spine is already in the process of deteriorating, right? So we got to stabilize that. We are one of the few people that you can walk in and go, I feel great. Can you make sure that I am? And we go, yeah, cool. We run an objective test here once we've got the medical history and figuring out what their goals are and where they want to go. We run a really thorough exam. 74 things that we test when they're on the table. I can punch it out in 4.5 minutes. I've done it that many times, but I like to take my time with people and really sort of get to know them and get a feel for where they're at. Then we also put them through, now we've actually added a couple of things this year, put them through a postural analysis app, which is really cool. Take a bunch of photos and it'll automatically it'll automatically assess their posture. We also integrated, it cost me a lot of money, but we integrated this really cool thing that I use in the States a lot, but it's not too commonly used in Australia. It's called Insight, and it's got 3 tests. One is HRV, which is one of the best sort of objective measures of generally how stressed somebody's nervous system is and how well they're adapting. It's basically shows whether or not their body can change gears under stress, which if you're healthy, you can change gears under stress. If you're not healthy, you just hang in stress dealing with perpetually, right?
Eventually you shut
so,
down.
every health tracker, I wear an Aura ring. Every health tracker basically does HRV. So my Aura ring tests my heart rate variability, I think 50 times a minute it is. The Insight one tests 1,000 times a minute. So it's way more accurate. That's just one of the tests. The other one is postural SMG, so SEMG, surface EMG. So to basically put electrodes either side of the spine and test how well the postural muscles are balanced, whether one side's more stimulated than the other.
Shit, yeah, okay.
That's a bit of a tricky test, takes a bit of skill to do even with the SMG paddle. And then the last one is thermography, which is really cool. We run like a little temperature sensor slowly up your spine. Any areas of acute inflammation typically go hot, right? So it'll pick up a significant deviation towards heat. But the really interesting thing is if it's a chronic problem, high levels of scar tissue, it usually deviates downwards, so you usually go colder around those areas. So that lets us objectively look at people and whether it hurts or not, do a better job of knowing how long they've had a problem, which is essential to know how we're going to get them out of the problem. And it also helps us really educate them on it's not just pain that's the big issue, right? Because you can have, I say this to people, it freaks them out, but what does stage 2 cancer feel like?
Yeah.
Nothing. Doesn't feel like anything.
You couldn't explain it.
No. What does 2 days before a heart attack feel like?
Normal day.
You don't live to be able to tell.
So if we only base our health on what hurts and what's symptomatically screaming at us, we're already in the shit before we know there's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So, like I said, most people come in for some kind of pain, but I want to push past that and go to more of a holistic look at their health and help them, not just performance optimization, but help them live more healthier, happier lives.
So would you say it's more about teaching people to stop being so reactive with their health and probably 100%. Take more of a maintenance sort of approach to it, like maintain your health, maintain your body, and your health is so much more than just your physical health. Like you said, the central nervous system runs down your spine, right? The most important part of your body runs down your spine, yet you never get it checked.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. People they go, chiropractors crack backs. So they don't really understand why we crack backs. For starters, we don't like saying it's crack backs. What we're actually working on primarily is the nervous system. You can't really separate the structure of your spine and your spinal cord. And your spine's primary job is to be like a suit of armor around your spinal cord, right? So without that, you can imagine any small bump would be, paraplegic, right? That's the whole point of your spine. But when your spine's not healthy, it starts to impede on the function of your nervous system, and your nervous system runs everything, right?
Yeah.
Chain reaction, right?
So can you, look, you've used a lot of big words tonight. Even for me, I'm sitting there going... I haven't
used that many.
Trust me, for me, you have. So for the people that are sitting out there, probably a bit like me, can you just put it into a simple explanation for me? Explain how just a simple niggle in your lower back could have such a massive effect on something could be your knee, could be your shoulder, it could even be your grip when you're gripping a golf club.
Grip's a really fun one, right? So that's nerve flow from the lower neck. So chiropractors, we look for this thing called subluxation. Rubes, you've spilled your can, by the way.
Oh, sugar.
I got some paper towel over there.
Always cleaning up.
Can't take me anywhere. It's all right. Yeah. There's no electrics here. If I die, I'm in the right place as a doctor in the house. Jimmy, it's all right.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to help with that. I don't want to give you mouth to mouth. Not again. So chiropractors look for this thing called subluxation. Now, there's always this big argument about, what is it? Where does it look like? Basically, it's a part of your spine that isn't functioning properly. Originally, we had this picture that it was, out of place and it was directly putting pressure on the nerve. That's not what happens. But if a part of your spine is not moving properly or it's not sitting in the right fashion, it's biomechanically altered in its function, then it puts increased pressure on the disc, right? That could be where your restless legs are coming from. But it also changes the structure around the spine where the cerebrospinal fluid flows. and that can irritate the nerves as they exit the spine, and that can cause any kind of change you want in like peripheral drop off. All right. So, you know, you might have been listening thinking, well, how's he helping a 2-year-old with constipation? I'm actually not touching their bowel. I'm working on their sacrum. And her backstory was she had hip dysplasia and she had to wear one of those hip dysplasia braces for like 2 months, which obviously, or no, 9 months, I think.
That's when you were born, hey? When you were born to keep them in place,
And that's obviously irritated her sacrum. Pre-hip dysplasia or pre-brace, no problems with pooing. Post-brace, problems with pooing because the sacrum's all jammed up, nerves are irritated there.
Yeah.
They feed through to the bowel. Right? Bowel's not functioning properly.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
Conversely, had another guy who I've looked after for ages.
Told you.
Since he was born. He's like 20 months old. And I was seeing his parents and they brought him in with them and they're like, oh, we've been in hospital for him. And I was like, why? And he's like, he's limping. Like, you know, 20-month-old limping is kind of a big deal. His foot's turned out when he's walking. And the hospital just kind of went, I checked with the parents, they didn't touch him, didn't run any scans, nothing. They just went, oh, it must be transient synovitis, which is like inflammation in the lubricants of the joints, right?
Thanks, health system.
And I said, do you want me to check him? I was running late. I was like, I'm running a bit late. But I'm looking at this little dude. He's not walking properly. I'm like, I'm just going to run later because that's my job's actually to help people, right? So I went, okay, we'll just take the hit. We checked him, and I just touched his sacrum. And he went, oh, like this is a 20-month-old. He's like, oh. So we adjusted him, which if you're wondering how to do it with kids, very different to adults. There's no cracking, there's no popping, nothing like that. And he walked out of here, no problems, no limps.
Wow.
So, you know, this is one of those things. They had the same problem causing different results. You know, one of them's constipated, one of them's struggling to walk properly.
I know. I found with Cairo, like, the most recent adjustment you did for me, like, I'm not joking. When I was sitting on the end of the bed and I'm like, oh my God, I can see. Like, my eyesight literally became so much brighter. Walked out of here, what felt like I was walking sideways, I was actually walking straight because I'd like been so bad and so gunked up. There's no other word for it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
look, the hardest thing for us is the medical fraternity is based on, you know, they talk about evidence-based. Because I look after the spine, I can't predict the results at the end of the nerve. Does that make sense? So I can't take 50 people that all have lower back problems and go, I'm definitely going to get the exact same result with all of them because they might have lower back problems from a different cause, in a different way, affecting a different thing. Whereas we can take 50 people with high blood pressure and regardless of what causes the high blood pressure, I can just give you a beta blocker and that should reduce the high blood pressure because I go further down the chain in the symptomatic chain, right?
Yep.
What would be really smart was if they said, oh, you've got high blood pressure. What are you stressed about? Because if I took your blood pressure on a treadmill, I'd expect it to be high. If I take your blood pressure sitting in a doctor's office and it's high, then I should be thinking, why are you stressed? What's driven your blood pressure up?
Pretty good.
But instead, they go down the chain and they go, here's the symptom, we'll just treat the symptom.
Yeah.
Right? Here's a pill. There's never let me tell you something, never an animal in the history of the world that has died because of pill deficiency.
Well, this is a good...
No animal's gone extinct because they weren't taking enough pills.
Very true. The human body's fascinating. It can
This is a good segue, right? Because when I did my ACL when I was 24, I think it was. I never had any like problems before that, like broke arms and my toes and all that sort of collarbone, but I never had any problems with my like any injuries like that. So I snapped my ACL, had the surgery with the hamstring. They were like, "Yep, 9 months, you'd be recover, be able to play back footy and stuff like that again." It was still swollen and it was still really sore. So they did another MRI. Oh, there's a few little spots. We'll go back in, keyhole surgery, we'll clean it up. Sweet. 4 weeks post-surgery. Oh, feeling better now. Then it would seize up again. Another surgery. So they ended up doing 3 keyhole surgeries after my original main surgery. And then I remember I walked back in to the doctor's office with the surgeon with my granddad's walking stick because I couldn't walk. Literally couldn't walk. My knee was bent like that, swollen. And I was like, here's the box. Like, think outside it. Like, what is wrong? And he's like, oh, maybe you need to go see a rheumatologist. Went literally across the road at the Wexford Centre in Murdoch. Urine, blood, injected me, drawn all the fluid out. Within 24 hours, told me I had ankylosing spondylitis arthritis. AS for short.
Oh,
Love AS.
Yeah. So that's my...
I feel like I'm getting educated here.
This
is
is my
great.
segue into this, right? Because I was like... I used to get adjustments pre my ACL when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I got told from my rheumatologist that I'd always had this in my body, and it was just that traumatic. What do you call it? The macro.
Macro trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a macro trauma that brought
Just
it out
pissed your
because
immune
it was
system off
that it
yeah.
was because it was stuck in that brace for so long, and it was like such a traumatic experience that's where all my arthritis sits now.
AS is so much fun.
Here comes the
Yeah.
mic drop.
Okay,
So-
so I'm prepared.
Yeah,
Didn't know anything about Jimmy on this one. Okay, AS.
But then my partner, she was like, oh, because she's got arthritis too, but she's like, oh, we shouldn't get treated like because that's what we've been told.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Straight up wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, I guess part of that is a misunderstanding of like really, they don't know what we do, right? Like,
Because I think it's brutal to, like, if you snap,
Yeah,
crackle and pop,
it's-
you're going to
This
break
goes back
something.
to advertising
let me
about
tell you,
chiropractic.
It's not right. So, I guess here's the other one that, like, I'm not a fucking idiot, right? Like, if I have a patient and I've done a thorough history and exam, and like a lot of adults, something comes up in the exam that warrants X-rays, and I'm taking X-rays. I'm gonna pick the safest technique to use, right?
Yeah, of
like
course, yeah.
Who's the expert in chiropractic? The dude that does the 5-year chiropractic degree.
Yep.
Not the guy that does,
Rheumatology.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, they've done a lot of study. Don't ask me about rheumatology. I can tell you everything about ankylosing spondylitis.
Yeah.
That you haven't been
Took me a
told.
long time to
Are you
learn
ready
that.
for this?
I can't even say it.
Okay, so
I'm ready.
ankylosing spondylitis is always blamed on a genetic issue called HLA-B27. I'm sure you've come across that. Human luteinizing antigen B27.
Yep.
So it's a genetic mutation in the way your immune system works and functions. Are you okay?
I'm thinking chitty bang bang. That's just my.
Pop that up in the corner there.
But here's the fun one, right? So everybody with AS has HLA-B27, but not everybody with HLA-B27 has AS.
Okay.
So is the genetic issue the cause?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Just think common sense for me. Think outside of the box for a sec.
I'm going to say, it's a 50-50, so I'm just going to say no.
Correct. So, because if the genetic
One from
issue
one, baby.
was the cause,
Yeah.
then everybody with a genetic mutation would have the problem.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So, like for example, my niece has cystic fibrosis. Right.
Yeah.
Everybody with the genetic mutation with cystic fibrosis has cystic fibrosis. Full stop. End of sentence.
Okay.
And that's how you know a true genetic disease from an environmental one that's predisposed with a genetic
Yeah.
mutation.
Okay.
Right. And AS is one of those ones. All right. What's the difference? It is. Are you ready for this? And I heard this on a podcast. I didn't even learn this at uni. And after I heard the podcast, I thought, why the fuck didn't I learn that at uni? Is that true? And I went onto Google Scholar. People don't know Google has a page called Google Scholar that will only bring up research.
Yeah, like verified, scientifically backed.
Peer reviewed, yeah. So I went on to Google Scholar. Ankylosing spondylitis and Klebsiella. We'll come back to that in a sec.
Chlamydia?
Close. And bam, paper after paper on the association and causation of AS and Klebsiella, which is a gut bacteria. And when you have an overgrowth of that bacteria, it triggers HLA-B27 into a reactive response, and that leads to AS.
So it's something to do with what I'm eating in my gut.
Yeah, now here's the fun part.
Fuck.
Another mic drop.
Here we go. Okay.
Go, bro.
Come on, hold my hand with me on this one, Jimmy.
Winning. Charlie
Klebsiella.
Winning.
Klebsiella is a lactose fermenting
can already feel my body
bacteria,
getting
right? So it loves lactose.
Yeah.
Loves dairy.
So I got to get. Oh, bro.
Do you know how I send most people that come in to see me with AS
I can do it though,
into
man.
remission?
Yes.
Don't have dairy. Full stop.
If it's gonna, yeah.
I got this patient, she's a nurse, she's got AS, and she used to have all of this chest pain, and like, because, you know, like your rib cartilage inflames, right? Have you had that yet?
Nah.
Okay, let's try not to have
Yeah.
that. It doesn't happen. Everyone's AS is a little bit different, but for her, she'd get costochondritis, which is the cartilage of her ribs inflaming. And
So it's all.
and
it's
she,
all
I was
diet,
seeing
it's all
her.
diet.
Yeah, I was seeing her, and I could keep it at bay, and like keep her feeling good. But we always want to get to the cause, right? Because I'm not treating AS, I'm treating subluxation.
I wonder if this is all to do. This could be with Tash as well.
Well, yeah,
reckon,
hang on,
yeah.
let's not go off too many branches here. But
One patient at a time,
I'm
yeah.
telling you
One
about
patient
this
at a
one
time.
patient. Anyway, I was like, you got to stop dairy. So she was like my primary AS patient when I first heard this podcast and started researching down this thing. I was like, you got to stop dairy. And she's like, what? I'm like, explained it to her. And she's like, okay, I'll give it a try. After like a month of dairy free, no rib pain whatsoever, she's like, I feel amazing. And then her and her now husband went to Japan on holidays and like just kind of took the foot off the pedal. And, you know, if you don't speak the language, it's kind of difficult to kind of dodge the dietary issues, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she
her?
comes back and she's like, oh, my chest is
Oh.
killing me.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah, it's
she
all-
fed the Klebsiella again and
Yeah.
like it blown up again. And yeah, so basically what happens is your gut is supposed to be like incredibly diverse. Like your gut is the master of diversity, equity, inclusion, hiring, right? It wants a shit ton of different types of bacteria in it, and they all should have different amounts of like population representation.
Yeah.
And Klebsiella is a normal one for us to have in certain amounts. But too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. So if we get an overgrowth in particular bacteria, then they can actually, number one, they can make you crave stuff. So if you've got an overgrowth of Klebsiella, it's going to make you crave their favourite food. Right?
Oh, I definitely got that then.
You've
Tim
probably got
Tams.
firmicutes. So they make you crave sugar, like big time.
Oh, bro.
And so if we get overgrowth in particular bacteria, they can actually change your behavior. But your bacteria also can change what your body wants to react to and what your immune system wants to react to.
We could actually be changing my whole entire life right now. in
Massively.
this, like hour.
And
So
Tasha's.
Let's focus on one, right?
This is where, you know, this isn't even like a chiropractic thing. This is just a holistic health kind of thing. And this is part of me doing the clinical biochemistry and that kind of stuff.
I'm so glad.
afterwards.
I'm
But
so glad we've done this.
here's the kicker, Jimmy, is we can throw whatever supplement we want at your body. And if your nervous system sucks, you don't get better.
Yeah.
Right? If there's pressure on the nervous system, that's your primary system, then you don't get better.
Crazy, hey?
So it can like coincide, like it'll like not coincide. I don't know if that's the right word, but they'll intertwine with being on the table and adjusted and that, and then along with that diet change, that change in the diet, then that's when we'll see a.
So it's about the chiropractic lifestyle, which there's three things involved in getting patients results. Is number one, we have to adjust them in a particular rhythm that actually gets results.
Yep.
Right? Too little, we're not going to achieve anything. Too much, which I don't like, that doesn't happen too often.
Paul Muse spec.
But
He can handle it.
Look, if you don't let your body actually heal, if you keep scab picking, it doesn't get better either.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's a particular rhythm that actually gets results. It's no different to the concept of needing to go to the gym. You want to do you want to grow your biceps. Doing arm curls once a month's not gonna do shit, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a pump for an hour.
Yep.
There's 220 ligaments in the spine, right? So when you did your ACL, they say, for 4 months for it to be like stable enough for you to walk around on.
Yep.
And
Sooner even. Like, and I was rehabbing the shit out of it.
And 6 months you can start running in a straight line.
Yep.
And by 12 months you can go back on the footy field.
Yeah.
Right. 4 ligaments in the knee.
Yep.
220 in the spine.
Yeah.
I don't have a magic wand where I can tap it once and it's perfect. Especially if you've screwed it up perpetually over time, right?
Yeah.
What we have to do is find the rhythm that actually gets it to heal and change.
Yeah.
But then once we've found that rhythm and we chart that rhythm based on like our exam's all about like figuring out what you're going to need to actually heal.
Yeah.
We have to teach you to break your bad habits, so reduce the stress and pressure on your body and add in good ones. Right? And that's what we call the three-legged stool. And we haven't had a patient do the three-legged stool where they've stuck to the right rhythm of adjustments, have actually listened to our advice where they've reduced the stress and pressure on their body. And
That's with diet. Yep.
diet,
Yep.
moving well.
Yep.
So eating well, moving well, thinking well, the
Yep.
three things. Eating well, moving
Yep.
well, thinking well, always. And then, so like changing that and adding in the good stuff and not get results.
It's phenomenal. I've learnt so bloody much tonight. Like my brain, I can feel the heat coming off it.
So we're going to do a second episode now.
I think we need to. Like we've gone over time, which is fine. I just don't know if the batteries are going to last in the cameras. But we'll keep going. I've got 2 questions I want to ask you, and then we'll start wrapping this up. What separates a maintenance adjustment from a performance adjustment?
Look, maintenance, I'll have people come in and they'll go, I want maintenance. I go, okay, you're not good, so I'm not doing a maintenance adjustment because that's just maintaining shit, right? Like we don't maintain shit in our practice. But the primary, the primary difference is really frequency, right? Maintenance people are typically looking to avoid pain points, which is fine. You're still not allowing much deterioration in your spine. Optimization, though, like performance optimization, picture Paul going, you know what, this wasn't quite perfect, and I want to make sure that my nervous system is bang on, right? So when I go to a CrossFit competition, there are some people that want optimization, so they'll actually see me after every event.
Yeah.
So they go, they do an event, put stress on their body, I'm there to support them. I remove their stress with an adjustment so they can go out into the next event in good shape. Right? There are other people that just kind of go, okay, end of the day so that I'm not sore tomorrow. And I guess the difference is different outcomes.
Yeah, okay.
Would you say weekly events, weekly adjustments?
Weekly,
Or it's a particular person.
So here's the other one. I'll tell you another story. I'll try and keep it concise because we've already gone over time. But I was sitting in the waiting room at another chiropractor waiting to get adjusted. And there was another chiropractor in there who, he was like 70. He's one of the OGs in Perth. And I said to him, Doug, because you'd always hear these miracle stories from like old chiropractors. Oh, this person, they couldn't get pregnant and then they started seeing a chiropractor and they got pregnant. Honestly, like, crazy stuff. And I said to him, Doug, I don't feel like I'm getting any of those. What am I doing wrong? I think I'd been out maybe like 3 or 4 years out of uni. Then he goes, I noticed that they started to slow down in the early 2000s for me too, because the stress people are under is so much more significant than it used to be. All right? And just look, everybody watching is going to go, yeah, it is. Like you think about, we're on devices permanently, we're sitting down all the time. The 24-hour news cycle is just bombarding us with emotional stress. There's 650,000 man-made chemicals now that we don't. Do we have any long-term safety studies on them? No. Like the stress that people are under now is way. Even if we look at like 2019 to now. Pre-COVID versus post-COVID, the stress people are under
it's mental,
crazy, right? So how well can people hold an adjustment now? Once upon a time, a maintenance adjustment used to look like every month, right? Nowadays, I find that people who are like really stretching it out, they're kind of going from pain to pain because the stress is so high, right? Maintenance adjustment now usually looks 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, okay. So
wellness, we'd say like wellness or optimization, we'd say weekly.
Yep.
But that is only after we've done like a corrective.
got you ready,
right?
Yeah, got you on your path.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of people might not know, but it's all covered under their health insurance and all that sort of stuff.
If they've got a good health insurance.
Okay. So it's got to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're a nationally registered health provider. We're what's called a primary practitioner. So, like, you don't need a referral for us. You can walk in. We are capable of making our own and legally allowed to make our own diagnosis.
That's good.
Because we're a primary care practitioner.
Yeah. Can you prescribe medication?
No, and I wouldn't if I could.
Okay.
Because
you hate medication.
I haven't had a painkiller since 2012.
Love that. Love that.
And I've done some shit since then. Like, dislocated my shoulder, tore my patella
Like Panadine
tendon.
Fort. Like, sorry, you're talking about injuries.
Here's the funny one, is when I dislocated my shoulder, they were like, oh, here's tramadol. I was like, don't worry about it. And they're like, why? And I'm like, I'm not going to take fucking tramadol. Tramadol, anyone watching, is the #1 prescription painkiller that causes death.
What?
Yeah. So it usually tramadol
have,
plus alcohol kills people, or like it's really
that
easy to
actual
OD
fact?
on. Yeah. Tramadol, shocker.
Wow.
Mental,
I've never had it.
That's what. Yeah, Tash has had a lot of that.
Yeah, so
I'm a codeine fiend.
Just like, here's tramadol. I'm like, don't worry about it. And they're like, okay, well, we'll send you home with Panadine Fort. And I was like, I'm not taking that either. And they looked at me like I was some kind of
Freak.
Like, I had
Yeah.
my arm in a sling, and like I refused the green whistle. I was like, no, I don't want any pethidine shit either. And then they're like, well, we have to give you something when we discharge you. And so they gave me like ibuprofen and Panadol, and I tossed them in the bin on the way out.
I can tell that this conversation is not going to end in here. I've seen Jimmy lean in a few times when you mentioned a few things, so he's very, very invested in what you've got to say. I know I've learned a lot. Holy hell, you know a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit in there.
Yeah, but it's like you can recite it like boom. It's
Yeah, I
fascinating.
mean, it's part of our thing. When I'm with the patient, I have to think that every day when I see people, I have to make a decision with them for their health. All right, it's like, you know, people talk about decision fatigue. I typically will see patients. I work 5 days a week. Only one of those days I will see patients morning and afternoon, because I have to manage my like decision making abilities on people. I have to assess their spine, see what needs to be adjusted. Maintain my energy so that I can give a good like energy transfer. You know, when you see somebody and they suck the life out of you, you go to a GP and you're just like, why am I here? Like, I don't want to approach my patients with poor energy. So I want to maintain my energy. I also need to look after my physical capacity, because adjusting people is actually like, it's tough on your body.
Yep.
Ironically, like, it's not ergonomically friendly. So so we're always managing our capacity to look after people. But like, the biggest thing that like chiropractors often suffer with by the end of a shift is just like mental, like, oh, we're done, because we've been like so focused and so intent on who we're looking after for that time.
I think it's so important, and any members, non-members even for that fact, if you need a really good chiropractor that you can trust, someone that, this isn't an ad or anything, this is legit, like I'm one of your patients, and I feel so, I'm normally a bit timid around certain like sort of practitioners or doctors. Like, I'm like, oh, do you really know what you're doing? I've never, ever, ever doubted what this man has said or advised me to do. And it's always paid in spades. I've always come out firing, come to the golf event. And, you know, I'm rusty as hell. I went out and played pain-free. Like, normally after golf, really sore. And after I'd seen Andrew for an adjustment, my gosh, what a difference it made. And just your knowledge, your overall knowledge is fascinating, man. I'm truly fascinated. Like, I've known you for a while.
Yeah, but I just run my mouth and then I'm.
But the way, like,
behind,
you don't speak it in a way where you're just saying it. You speak it. You back it with fact. You back it with practice. Like, you know what you're doing, and you should be very proud of where you are today. I think.
I'll let you know, and I'm coming in anyway. I've already that's already ticked off. But I'm gonna do no dairy from now.
Wow.
Cold
we'll check
turkey.
in. Yeah. We'll check in on that.
I can't wait to see it.
I think by the time, what's the date today? 29th. So if we're going to do a live podcast down in Southern Swing.
Yep.
Which is alcohol. There's no black in alcohol. There's no dairy in alcohol, is there?
If you have Bailey's Irish cream, probably.
No. So we're doing a live podcast. We're doing a live podcast down at Southern Swing. Yeah. So that's about 3.5 weeks. So that's almost 4 weeks. So
watch those dairy cravings though, because the Klebsiella going to be like, give us our food, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So what, up the protein?
Yeah, I think, up the protein, reduce the starchy carb.
Yeah.
And, if you really want to get after it, there's a particular herb that we stock here that I put a few patients on that
Cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Amazing.
we'll talk about
Now,
that
just
after.
before I switch these
We talk
batteries,
about
because I
some
can,
golf?
I
We're
can
gonna
see.
talk about
Yeah,
some
we are.
golf?
We'll go.
Okay,
We'll go for a little
yeah.
bit longer. But just before we do, I'm going to pause the podcast. I'm going to change the batteries in this. But before we do, a lot of people, especially me, I know I've asked you a few times this question, but a lot of people always have it on their minds. Why do chiros and physios hate each other?
Well, I don't hate them at all.
In general, why? Why is there this divide between
Again,
them?
I think there's just this us versus them kind of mentality that just doesn't need to exist. Like, the last thing I would want to do is rehab your knee. I hate that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not remotely interested in it. And, you know, there's a physio just across the way, Raw Physio. And I'm just like, just don't worry about it. Go see Jack. Like, I don't want to deal with that. So it's just, I think it comes from a scarcity mindset where obviously people want to be able to provide for their family while doing what they do, right? We don't need to piss in each other's pockets. There's plenty of
Fish in the sea.
yeah, there's plenty of people that need physio. There's plenty of people that do chiro. And when people are like, what's the difference? I'm like, it would be quicker for me to explain what's the same, because we're looking at two completely different things. We're interested in two completely different things. And our like, I used to date a physio. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't know.
a
Well,
long
maybe.
time ago.
Was that when you were in uni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. I remember.
she was,
Yes.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, what we learn is two completely different things. Like,
Could have been a powerhouse.
yeah, just, you know,
Christina's way better though. Christina, you're way better.
you know, I'm with who I'm supposed to be.
That's
But,
right. Oh, look at you. You lovely man.
I do. So, yeah, it's one of those things where there's like this perceived hatred. I've got physio friends, and I'm just like, yeah, sick. I hope they're doing great.
Oh, that's
People
great.
ask me, have you got a good physio? I'm like, yeah, there's one here, there's one here. You know, where are you? I'll tee up. If you
It's good that
really
you
need
like
a
that.
physio, I'll send you to a physio.
No, good on you.
And if I've got a patient in here and I check him and I do the exam and I'm like, oh, this is not a chiropractic problem.
Good. I think that's really important for people to know, because I know sometimes, you know, especially people go to a physio and they're like, no, don't go to the chiro. You come to me.
You know what? I think you got a practitioner that says to you, don't go and see another practitioner.
Don't go see that practitioner.
They're full of shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, I don't care if you Google what I said, like, or whatever. I say it because, like, our one of our highest core values here is integrity. We can be proud of everything that we say to people. We can be proud of what we do, and we do it, you know, with genuine intention that we're being honest and truthful. And if, like, go home and Google Klebsiella and ankylosing spondylitis.
I don't need to.
Super fragilistic.
If you see a practitioner and they're like, oh, just don't Google this and don't go and see anyone else, they're full of shit. Like 100%.
I love that. You make me want to work for you.
Do you want to?
I'm going to quickly change these batteries and we'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to the toilet.
At your peril. Okay. Recording.
We're back.
Can you give me a clap, please, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. Jimmy's back from his.
Is that like the
pee
gong,
break?
the sort of...
So what it does, it makes it easy when I edit. I can see the spike in the audio, and I can align all the video to the
Smart,
audio.
it's smart.
It is.
Yeah.
Except it's not smart when you forget to do it, because then you're sitting there for ages like, why is his
Where-
mouth moving in the
where's
audio?
the-
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Heaps of chiropractic talk in there tonight. Thank you, Dr. Andrew. That was amazing. Now you're going to be privy to some golf chat.
Okay.
We'll try and get through this. We'll try and do it within 20 minutes. The Ryder Cup. The real Ryder Cup, not the one you were at. The Ryder Cup just happened, and it was an absolute onslaught. One of the things I want to talk about.
You guys really shit the bed, didn't you?
USA did, yeah. Well, I didn't play for him. I'm just USA for. But yes, no. I wanted to talk about the. Did you watch any of it? You wouldn't have watched any of it, would you?
It's the wrong time zone. I'm not
Okay,
getting
but did
up
you
for that.
hear any
I
about
was
like
like
how?
7 o'clock, our time.
In the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, PM.
Yeah, I fall asleep putting the kids to bed.
Oh, that's cute. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Did you hear anything about the crowd interaction with the European team? Surely you must have heard something on the news. No, you don't watch TV.
I did see something.
Like drinks thrown at
Yeah,
Rory's
they weren't
wife.
happy.
Mate, I'm sorry, but
Rory was giving it to him on the scoreboard, wasn't he?
he was, but he was only giving back as good as he was getting. Like that was
No,
bad.
I think, with AFL players giving the finger and getting fined and stuff, I'm like, mate, if you're copping abuse from a fan,
Mate,
give it to him. Like,
From what I heard and read, the things that were getting said to him, and like when you start picking on someone's physical appearance, like people were picking on Shane Lowry's weight, like that. You're no longer supporting the event or the players in it. That's pure disrespect.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not about like going, oh, you suck at golf. Like, I mean, they don't.
Yeah, but you could like.
Well, it wasn't even. I saw something this morning that it wasn't even. There was a American presenter, Christina
Yes.
something.
Is that a lady? Had a mustache and a beard.
You can be whatever you want nowadays.
What is it?
Yeah, no, but she was like, and she's like does movies and stuff like that or whatever. She's an actress or whatever, and she was like the announcer or whatever.
Oh, the MC.
Yeah, MC, right? And the crowd was like, let's go, Scotty, and that. And then they were like, fuck you, Rory. And then she was like, yeah, fuck you, Rory.
On the microphone.
On the mic.
No, I feel like the MC is supposed to be impartial.
And then you could hear her be like, I shouldn't have said that. And it was like, yeah, so banned, like, fucking, like, flicked straight away. Like, yeah, just so...
I just feel like a lot of those people were there for the wrong reasons, and I don't know if they were there for a drunken party or whatever. And
Happy Gilmore style.
yeah, but I think people will start blaming Liv for introducing that into golf. Liv has introduced a completely different dynamic, and you can't blame Liv for bringing a party atmosphere to golf because it's what's needed. It's needed to be less stiff. But
Yeah.
Rory made a really good point. The supporters were out there ripping into Rory the whole day. And he said, they ripped into me more than they supported Scotty. He goes, I heard more chants of people chanting to rip into Rory than they
Yeah.
did supporting Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. Well, they were going at him at one point, talking in the back. And I can understand heckling and all that sort of stuff, but when someone's trying to take their shot, like that's when you know in golf, you just go quiet for that 5-10 seconds. And he was about to do it, and he turned around and he was like, "Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
guys! Shut the fuck up!" And then you know what the best thing was? He stiffed it to 3 foot.
I know.
And it was just like, man, that's unbelievable clutchness and like elite. I love that. And I wasn't a.
He shouldn't be going through that as a professional athlete.
I don't know how, like, their concentration levels must be, like, next level, because if someone was screaming like that in my ear, I wouldn't be hitting the ball with the golf club. I'd be hitting them with it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't...
Their post.
My old boss, he used to, if your shadow moved when he was teeing off,
Oh, my... No.
he'd
Not
like
one of
to
those. I'm
turn
sorry.
around and give you like daggers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've played with people where a bird flaps its wings, and the guy's like, "Oh, I've got to back off that one." I'm like, mate.
any excuse, yeah. I'm more like if people are talking, continue to talk.
Just consistency.
Don't be like, oh yeah, by the way, because then I'm like, yeah, you fuck me,
Mate,
Like,
anyone-
you know what I
So
mean? Just
if
keep
they hadn't been
talking.
going, fuck you, Rory, fuck you, Rory,
Yeah,
fuck you, just
yeah, just keep
consistently,
going.
all good.
Nah, it was so bad, man. Yeah, it was terrible.
Embarrassing
It
for
would be
America. I'm sorry, but that's purely that's
Yeah.
just takes disrespect to a whole new level, man. That was disgusting to watch. I couldn't actually. The audio was actually really good this year. You could hear the conversations. You could hear people talking in the crowd,
Yeah.
and you could pick up exactly what they were saying. And I'm like, oh my god.
Does that just reflect how like divisive the world's become though? Is like it's always like an us versus them. There can't be a like, wow, Rory's really fucking crushing it. So I appreciate his golf. It's
Yes.
got to be like a
Nah, they didn't. There's all these things that have come out now from like American athletes who have said like, oh, now why is it like one country versus a whole continent and stuff like that? And it's like
Because
you
your country's 10 times the size of that
you
continent.
do the
Like,
numbers on it, and they've got like 200 million golfers, and they've got like 20 million or something, like 80% more
Any
or whatever.
excuse.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, Victor Hovland, there's a rule if you have an injury, he had a sore neck, so he had to withdraw.
should have seen the chiropractor.
Yeah, should have.
You know,
Good
Tiger
segue.
Woods-
Good segue.
Tiger
Victor.
Woods, mad chiropractic fan.
oh, there we go.
There you go.
There you go.
But
But
it's good enough for Tiger.
they have an envelope, and it's been a rule forever since it started that the opposition will put a player's name in the envelope. They'll open it up. Whoever that was, it was Harris English on the day. He didn't play, and their match just automatically gets halved.
That's bullshit. Because you could use that to your advantage if you needed to halve. Like, say it was the last game and it was
No,
going to matter.
you can't. It has to go in before you tee off.
It's still tactical.
Has to be in
There's a
before you tee
tactical
off.
element to it.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
It
'cause
guarantees you half a
they
point.
were already up by so much. So it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah, but someone
that's what
could
they
use
were,
it.
That's what they were trying to say. Oh, well, you know, that half a point made such a difference. But in 1991, America did it and won with it, with an actual half a point. So it's like they're
Can't
just
argue.
sour grapes,
You
man.
love
Grasping
these-
at straws.
these double standards.
It's sour, yeah. Oh,
There's
man, I
always-
don't want to
always
fire
in
up too
sport.
much
Love
about
a
this,
double-
but I will
double
fire
standard.
up because being a European captain, you know, fuck you, man.
I'll take that on the I'll take that on the chin. I'm actually embarrassed. Like I said this before. Like
I
I'm
know.
kind of. It's going to sound weird, but I'm actually embarrassed to suit up next year.
Yep.
because the way they carried on, as much as we're nothing to those people, we're representing what they sort of are through our own channel.
Yeah, it makes you feel a bit icky.
It does, because now, like, I've got that USA cap. I kind of don't want to wear it because people will be like, "Oh, American, like you're a loser." I'm like,
typical Yank,
no,
yeah.
I'm actually supporting my golf collective Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, we know it's our group though, but right now it's so fresh, so it's like,
Thanks, America.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll simmer down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do
Do you know what?
You're not that big, mate. You're not that big.
You know what I found?
This podcast.
Yeah, you know what I found really interesting was in the post-match conference, Rory was like, one thing I can promise you is in 2027 in Ireland, you won't get that sort of...
No, God
They
no.
will be respectful to the Americans, and I hope that they are, and I hope they're so noisy and cheering on the European team that America don't even get a nod. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds bad, but they need to learn a lesson. This is how you support your athletes.
Shane Larry said the same thing. He was getting interviewed just after he made that winning putt to retain it, and he was just like almost in tears, obviously because it's such a big moment. But he was like, yeah, he goes. They were like, oh, how's it going to be when you're in your home in 2 years? You're in because it's in Ireland. When you're in your home country, and he was like, nothing like this.
Nah.
And then boop, that was it. Then it stopped, and I was like, wow.
Did you
it's a
see-
powerful
It must have
statement.
been happening. Something,
Yeah, it's a
something that came
powerful
afterwards.
statement.
Cut the
eh?
feed.
Yeah,
cut the feed.
yeah. No,
Did
he
you,
just walked away, but
You see the sniper rifles?
yeah, for Trump.
Why did you see it? There was snipers everywhere all over the course.
Yeah, because he flew in on day one.
And then they brought out a list of things you weren't allowed to have on the day. No
It's a-
tablets, no laptops,
It's
no
a wild world out there.
far out, man. I would actually feel if I was a player, I'd be like, don't bring him here. Like, there's people with guns that'll be here. No.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, I would actually feel, if I was in the crowd, I'd be like,
That's because we're Australian.
oh,
We
Yeah.
go, I don't want guns.
Over there, it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But like, it wasn't just a small sniper rifle. That thing was the size of us. And the guys just stand there like, cool. It's like, hang on, what if that guy has a mental episode and decides, you know what, I'm going to kill everyone?
Actually, a side note, just quickly, this has nothing to do with golf, but speaking of guns, there was a 13-year-old at an American school, at a high school. He disarmed another kid, like took the gun apart, disarmed it, and then took it to a teacher, and he got expelled.
What?
Because he was meant to apparently come to that teacher before he went and did all that.
Oh, what
And
a
so-
joke.
And I was like,
Could have been too late.
yeah,
Ah.
there's a huge GoFundMe now for him. Like,
What a
it's-
joke.
What
I
the
think
fuck?
people
What
are
the
getting
fuck?
upset in life about the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, clearly, right?
like really.
He did the
get
right.
upset
Like,
about
I would
the
have been
wrong
like, give
stuff.
him a medal. Give him my medal.
Do you know how
Like,
hard it is to
I don't
disassemble a
think
gun?
he wants that.
Yeah. Whoa. Sorry. Bro, come on, man. All right, I'll give him
He
this.
probably did it like Jason Bourne, just.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, and yeah.
This is like
Scotty
Mark
showed me, I
Wahlberg
think.
in Shooter, you know, when he did like disarm the
Then
guns.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's his Second Amendment rights.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't want to get us in trouble, so I won't comment too further on that. We've got a huge run of events coming up. Royal Freo Major, like we touched on. Southern Swing coming up. That's going to be awesome. Lots of information coming out about that. By the time this comes out, the handicapping should be turned back on. Golf Connect will be live. Golf Link is no more. Golf Link has been shut off forever. So your
Bye-bye.
Golf Link number, the most important thing to take from all that, your Golf Link number, whatever it is right now, stays there forever. That's now your driver's license number. So whether you change clubs or not, or whatever, that number you have now, that's your number forever.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that. Your handicap will get adjusted. They're saying it could get adjusted 0.5 either up or down. They're going and changing all the PCC values back until the 1st of 2023. So that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. But if you see your handicap get adjusted, that's why. And your Golf Link number will not change.
Hope it goes down.
Hope mine goes up. All right. We'll close out. Do you have a quote you want to do for this one?
Yeah, I got my. You want to do my grateful?
Do your
segment?
grateful. Yeah, let's
cool.
go.
So I do like a segment.
I love that. Grateful.
Yeah, like so it's either one or two things. We'll just go one. Something that you're grateful for. You can start with yourself.
Something that I'm grateful for this week.
Or just in general.
Do you
Yeah,
know
just in
what? The
general.
long weekend, I actually had some like really nice moments with my daughter this afternoon. I was doing a little workout in the home gym and had some bangers on.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you want to dance with me?" She's only 2. She like held her hands. We danced around the little gym, and then between every set, she's like,
Let's dance.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and,
So
you know,
Core memories.
I wouldn't have got to do that if it wasn't a long weekend.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I
Love those moments.
Yeah.
My grateful is knowing people like you, to be honest, because had I not have met you, I've got to be honest, I probably never would have had an adjustment in my life because I'm one of the reactive people And I probably since
changed that, Rubes.
Yeah, but I think I've since changed to a degree. I'll blame poor time management on not having the time to look after myself, but I'm well aware of it. But yeah, no, people like you who do what you do, love what you do, and there's so much more to it than just a paycheck at the end of it or anything like that. Or what you do is I think it's truly magical. It's an art form, man. Like the words you said tonight, I'm going to have to go back through this, editing it, going, what? I might have to put it down the bottom, like this is what that word means. Because I guarantee you there's people out there that have no idea. No idea. But yeah, Jimmy, what about you, mate?
Mine's happened just tonight. Realising, I was going to say yourself, but I'm going to wrap it all up into one. Just golf collective in general. For me, I'm grateful for because I've been able to meet people, like yourself, and then just to hear all that knowledge. And I think we spoke about before, like how did you get through uni? Because obviously you loved it to listen to it, and then like what you said, I was leaning in and listening and really.
Never seen you so attentive in my life. You're like, what?
Right? Yeah, I haven't even had any medication yet. Any Nexies. But I'm very grateful for you, mate, for doing this, doing the talk show with us and getting on here. And I think, I just appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the next 4 weeks dairy free and come in and get some adjustments and see what happens. And I can be a bit of a testimonial. So
yeah, that'd be good for people to follow.
Looking forward to
grateful, very grateful.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to being able to help some golfers. Just what did we say? Play golf till they die.
That's right. That's right.
Something getting in the way.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us, my man. That was awesome. We'll get you on another podcast in the near future because we could talk for hours. We really could.
Yeah, any requests? We didn't even touch conspiracy theories today. So
that's a whole nother episode, my man. That's a whole nother episode. I'll close this out with I told you I had a dad joke that's car related.
Here we go.
Oh, have you got something?
I'll quote.
Let's go with the quote. Let's go with the quote.
So this is by C.S. Lewis, and it says, "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start now and change the ending."
Love that.
That is very good.
C.S. Lewis. Very solid. High philosophy.
Yeah.
That's very good. I love that. Say that again.
You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start now and change the ending.
I think that's so relatable because in this current world that we live in, it feels like everybody is doing more than what you are. And I think everyone's comparing themselves to everybody else. Like
social media.
Yeah, you want to make a change to your life, you're in control of that. You do that whenever you want. If you feel like your life's hit a roadblock or you cul-de-sac and break through that shit, it's up to you. You go do that.
Yep.
You've got all the power in your hands to go and do that yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah, don't worry about being judged as well.
Nah. Stay, do your thing.
I think that plugs in a bit to forgiveness too. Like something shit's happened in the past, holding on to a grudge.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
So much energy goes into people being, that person. And it's like, man, why? If you let that go, you could have that energy on
just
so
move
many
forward
more powerful
with love
things.
And just go, cool.
Yeah. I don't have the energy.
Just go and dance to the bangers.
That's right.
With your daughter.
I just agree with the person who has a grudge. Go, I'm sorry you feel that way. Okay, let's move on. Let's just keep life going because there's so much more to life.
Kill them with kindness.
That's right. All right,
give me
dad joke.
Here's the dad joke. All right, here we go.
Shit.
What did the spine say to the chiro?
Oh,
come on.
If you don't get this right, it's embarrassing.
Well, I am a dad, but
what did the spine say to the chiro?
Crack.
You cracked me up.
Let's get cracking.
You cracked me up. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Andrew. Thank you, Jimmy. We've got Lewis Meldrum and Hugo White coming up in an episode. We've got the Southern Swing Live coming up. Liam and Bretters, so the Wiz and Bretters will be jumping on an episode. It's going to be great. But thank you for tuning in. And stay on the fairways, stay clean, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Thanks for the table.